Yes, it's a Bud Light product. Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And if you've seen any before, you know that Budweiser products aren't a very common occurrence on my channel. But I did get a couple of messages from TJM, regular viewer. Thanks for your support, by the way, Bud. And he said that this Bud Light lemon tea is pretty damn good, so we're definitely going to check it out. They've been doing a pretty decent job with some of their other products. I hate to admit it, but like Bud Light Lime, Bud Light Orange, I think it was the Copper Lager, the one that they put out recently in collaboration with Jim Beam. Well, not really in collaboration, but they used wood from Jim Beam barrels to age it, and it picked up the flavor. It was a decent beer, and I already went on a little tirade in that video as to why I don't really support Jim Beam and what they did to White Rock Distilling here in Maine. But you can check that video out if you're curious. Let's talk about the Bud Light lemon tea. So this came across from him. I actually wasn't even aware this existed until I saw him post and tag me on Untappd. Find me on Untappd, by the way, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain there as well. And, and then he hit me up in the comment section on YouTube saying, hey, you really need to try it. So there's a lager brewed with real lemon peels and aged on tea leaves with natural flavors. Okay. So brewed with lemon peel. I'm assuming it's standard Bud Light, but they added lemon peel to the recipe. Now, peel is important because the peel is going to have a little bit more of a bitter flavor than an overall citrusy flavor, because it's got the white part of the rind in it, and there's a special name for it. I can't remember what it is ever when I try to do one of these, but the peel, it's not the zest, it's not the juice, it's this more bitter part of the fruit that does have some citrus, but also has that bitterness to it as well. It's also important to note here that this is not a tea blend. It was aged on tea leaves with natural flavors. So there's a couple of other beers out there that are actually a beer and tea blend. I think it's Shipyard, a local Maine brewery, that has done that with... oh crap, I can't remember the name of the tea company, but those beers were both very solid. Aged on tea leaves. So everything from brewed with lemon peel to aged on tea leaves says that this is probably going to have some subtle flavors. It's not going to be in your face, but I could be surprised. The Bud Light Orange was way less subtle than I thought it was going to be. It is a very clear beer, not cloudy at all. It's pretty much to be expected. Now, I didn't get an aggressive pour on that, so it's not maintaining a head, but you can see that it's pretty effervescent. It looks, because it's clear and the way the bubbles are behaving, it looks very thin to me. But then again, it is a Budweiser product, so it probably is pretty thin. Whew, pardon. Maybe it's got a little bit of brown color to it from the tea leaves, anything it's picked up from that, but overall it's just got a nice golden hue. Smells like beer. Maybe a hint of a brewed tea aroma in there, but mostly it just smells like Bud Light. A little sweet up front, honestly. I wasn't expecting that. It does have a very nice light mouthfeel. Easy to drink. It's a little sweet up front. Then I do get some bitterness, obviously lemon peel, hint of citrus. It does have a nice brewed tea finish to it. It's definitely different. It's interesting. It's better than Bud Light because it has some more complex flavors to it. I don't think I'm ready to put it right up on par with those Shipyard and Tea brews that I mentioned before. I think one was like Fireberry something. I'd have to look it up. I should have done it before I commented on it actually, but I didn't. So not quite ready to put it up on par with those, but it is definitely a big step above regular Bud Light. I'm waiting for anything else to come out. Up front, like I said, a little sweet, hint of sweetness, and there's that bitterness from the lemon peel, a hint of citrus there as you swallow, and then a nice subtle finish of a brewed tea flavor. I mean, frankly, I'm impressed. I usually come into a Bud Light product not expecting much, so I'm actually going to hit this with a 3.5 out of 5. Now remember, on a scale of 1 to 5, a 2.5 is average. So 3.5 is significantly above average beer. It's just not quite in the 4 category, which is a great beer, and it's definitely not up to a 5, which is one that makes me go wow, or one that's perfect. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to hit it with a 3.5, which again is, I'm trying very hard to be objective whenever I do a Budweiser product, because I'm inclined not to like them in the first place. So I'd say that a 3.5 is pretty fair, especially from me. And I really do try to be objective and judge them like I would any other beer, regardless of what's on the label. So hopefully I'm successful in doing that, but you know what? I am only fucking human. But yeah, I would drink this again. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to buy it, but I would drink it if it was offered. Just as a heads up, I do have it in a can. It's like $3.30 for a can, or I could grab a 6-pack for just under 10 at the local gas station, where they wouldn't let me break up a 6-pack, so I went with the cheaper option. And honestly, if I had bought the 6-pack, I wouldn't have regretted it, because I would still drink the rest of them if they're in the house. So economically, I'm glad I got the can, but if I had been forced to buy a 6-pack because the can wasn't available, I wouldn't have regretted that, and I would have finished them. So that's probably the best statement I can make about a Budweiser product. But I think I've said as much as I can about it. Hit me up down in the comments or the email link down below. Let me know what you have to say about this beer, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, I still want to hear from you. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, TJ, for the suggestion. It panned out to be a pretty damn good beer. You were absolutely right. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers. I'm going to try and get a better pour on that and refill it. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm not blaming myself for this not holding a head. That wasn't my fault, because I got a good head on it that time.